It's been about 3 weeks.
Yeah, if not a month.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'd say that my inner critic has definitely dropped back. But then I think I feel more angry than I have before.
Good. We'll talk more
Is
about
it good?
that. Yeah, it is good.
A couple of days ago, I was going to bed and I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm just going to be 10 out of 10 all day with everybody and it's going to be great.
And how did that work for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, to say yes to you, you have to be able to say no to other people. The real challenge is, how do you stay connected to who you are in a way that's still respectful and loving of you, but also of them?
It's
Do you
really
know
tough.
what I think?
Yeah, go on.
I
really want to know.
Hi, I'm Alex Howard, a therapist with over 20 years experience working with clients. Welcome to In Therapy, a series where we follow one person's therapeutic journey each season. Every episode explores a unique theme with insights designed to be relatable and practical for your own life. This is Belle's last episode, but we're going to be releasing some bonus content in the weeks to come, so be sure to subscribe to stay updated. It's been a while since Belle and I last had a session. In the meantime, she's moved out of her flat and back in with her parents. I know she's been working hard to keep all the pieces we've been working on in place, and I'm eager to hear how she's been doing.
Well, it's been about 3 weeks. Is that right? 4 weeks?
Yeah, if not a month.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I've been okay. I think I've had, I'd say, some ups and downs, but in the areas that we did a lot of work on, like the work that we did with kind of the previous versions of myself and with my ex, I think that has all stayed, I haven't sort of dropped back into those thought patterns at all, which has been just such a huge change. I think, I've noticed in myself, like, just that I'm not kind of defaulting to thinking about him when something happens or, kicking myself for what happened or for being the way that I am. Like, I'd say that my inner critic has definitely dropped back since doing all of that work, which has been amazing. But then at the same time, I feel like I'm struggling a bit with feeling quite frustrated. I think being, living, around my family now for the first time in a long time, I think, and having done all of this work, I'm actually finding myself getting really easily frustrated with the kind of, because obviously we've done so much work on me really being myself through trying to find who that is and trying to reconnect with, being authentic and not putting on a mask and, things not having to be perfect all the time. I think it's more difficult than I thought it was going to be, trying to keep that going in an environment where a lot of people do have that mindset of we just need to gloss over things and everything is fine. And so, that's been difficult because I'm also conscious to not try and go, well, you're all being, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to do that. So it's difficult to kind of keep my mindset calm and steady when actually I can feel it like bubbling up. I think I feel more angry than I have before.
Yeah, good. We'll talk more
Is
about
it good?
that. Yeah, it is good. It is good. The anger is effectively your emotional body's way of saying that your boundaries are being violated. So just the same as happens in our physical body, it's like if our immune system senses a threat or a danger, we get inflammation, right? Like we get, on the skin, it might be that it goes really red or something becomes painful, but it's like the body's protecting itself. And so in these instances, the anger is your emotional body's way of saying, this is not okay for me. But of course, the challenge is, how do you navigate that, right? So this is what I call the dance of change. You have been in a dance with your family for all of your life.
Yeah.
And you're now changing the dance, which means that they've got to figure out how to come into the new dance with you. So when one changes the way that they are in relationship, like the dynamics of relationship change, the other people have really one of three choices. Choice number one is, which is part of what's happening at the moment, is they try and pull you back into the old dance. Not because they don't love you, but because they do love you. And that's the way that they know how to be in relationship with you.
Yeah.
But for you, that's super frustrating, because you're like, I've done all of this work. I've gone to all of these painful, difficult places, and I've actually started to figure out who I am and how I want to be in the world. And that's really important to you. But they're trying to pull you back to where it was before, because that's how they know to be in a relationship with you. Now, option number two, which is what you need to work on, is how do you figure out the way to bring them on the new dance with you? How do you teach them how to treat you and how to be in a relationship with you in the way that respects and honors who you are? Now, option three is not an option here. Option three, but in some relationships and in some friendships it is that you just separate and you go and dance a different dance. But there's way too much that's good in your family for you just to go, do you know what, fuck the lot of you, I'm off and I'll see you in a decade. It's like, that's obviously not the skillful way to manage this. And so the real challenge is, how do you stay connected to who you are, which is still, your experience of that is still quite embryonic, right? Like, you're still figuring that out and you're still finding the edges of that and you're still growing your confidence in that.
Yeah.
But how do you do that in a way that's going to cause, in the short term, not forever, but in the short term, some friction and some tension in your dynamics with people, in a way that's still respectful and loving of them, but ultimately to say yes to you, you have to be able to say no to other people. So you have to reteach them how to be in relationship with you, and you have to figure out how to do that in a way which is loving, respectful of you, but also of them.
Yeah. So I think, I'm finding it really tough, and also catching myself sometimes. Like, a couple of days ago, I was going to bed and I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be 100% all day. I'm going to be really positive, and I'm just going to be, I'm just going to be 10 out of 10 all day with everybody, and it's going to be great.
And how did that work for you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because then, it does, there are, because obviously there are the issues that I was always going to have, where I've just been used to living independently, and it's a massive change, going back to being at home, that is really jarring. So there was obviously, there's just the obvious things where I'm used to doing everything, myself, and not being asked all the time how I am, or if I'm okay, or what I need, or, all of that stuff. It's obviously, like you say, it's coming from such a place of love, but it's just such an adjustment.
Yeah.
And like I say, on top of that, trying to keep going with staying in touch with how I'm feeling, being more authentic to how I'm feeling, and, figure out some sort of plan for the future, when at the moment I don't, for the first time in a really long time, I don't have any plan. It's like I'm at zero. I've got no idea what's next, and trying to be excited about that instead of, really, really scared. And when you're in that position where you don't have a plan, it's not only, not only that you don't have a plan, but it's also kind of presents an opportunity to people around you to say, what are you doing next? What are you thinking? What's the plan? And that can, it just invites a lot of questions and a lot of pressure. So I think, Yeah, there's a few factors going into it, but I just feel like anger
Yeah.
a lot more than I'm used to, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel nice.
Yeah.
I mean, on the flip side, I guess it's a good thing that I am feeling it, like I'm able to identify it and feel it in my body, which is what I struggled with before.
Yeah. And also the anger is a reaction to relational contact that doesn't right now feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like it's your emotional body's way of saying, no, that doesn't actually feel okay.
Yeah. No, it doesn't feel good.
Right.
That's it.
You know, so it's not about squashing the anger. It's about changing the dynamics. And so so the anger doesn't need, because the anger is kind of like a telephone call from your emotional body saying, hey, Belle, this ain't good. Do something about it.
Yeah.
So if we just suppress the anger or squash the anger, we're not actually dealing with the issue. You know, the anger is because you feel unseen, not allowed to be where you are. And that's caused you a lot of suffering for a long time. And you're basically being asked to keep doing something that you don't want to keep doing.
Yeah. It's like I haven't really been allowed to grow up. Like it feels like I'm trapped as a teenager. And, you know, sometimes I can even feel myself regressing, which is then when I get angry. Because I'm like, well, this isn't who I want to be. This isn't who I like being.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel like I've been allowed that room to grow.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like they haven't tried to get to know a new version of me. They've just gone, okay, well, Belle's here and it's the same as, you know, she's the same as when she was 17 or whatever. And I think I'm just finding that really difficult.
Yeah.
If you're interested in having your own therapeutic journey using the same therapeutic methodology that I'm using with Belle, which is called Therapeutic Coaching, you can explore working with my own practitioner team here at the Optimum Health Clinic. For more information, visit theoptimumhealthclinic.com/in-therapy.
Who in your family do you feel is most able to hear what you have to say about this? Like, who could you have a conversation with?
It would probably be my mum, but even then, she's not always that receptive. As in, you know, she just wants to protect me all the time. And I think she almost, I don't know, sometimes it's difficult to have a conversation with her and say, I've been doing all of this work and it's really good stuff. It's kind of, I think she hears it as I've been doing all this work. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, or you're rejecting her, or it's all her fault.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you know.
Yeah. So I'd say my mum is the most likely to. I think she's the only one I think that would want to hear it. Yeah, I don't think anybody else would really want to hear it. Yeah.
And then your challenge is whether she can put aside her own defensiveness and her own sort of fear of change to actually really hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a real fear of change and a fear of, I think for her, it's almost like it's always been a real fear of any sort of like any prospect of conflict. And I think she sees change as that. She sees change as being, oh, well, this could really rock the boat, or this could, you know, this could be uncomfortable. That's it. You know, I think she's really afraid of anything being uncomfortable. And now I'm in a place through doing all of this where I'm like, well, yeah, it does get uncomfortable.
It really does,
but like
it?
it has to get uncomfortable. And having done all of that, so I think, that's where I struggle. It's just a really weird feeling of being at home, and we all spend a lot of time together. Like, you know, my sister is around a lot with the boys, and I think I've just come to realise that we're a really close family on the face of it. But
Well,
actually, you know, I don't feel necessarily like a really deep connection where I can talk about, you know, all of this, and I can really show up as myself, and I feel like I'm going to be totally listened to and totally kind of accepted.
I think you are a really close family, but you're close within the parameters of the family structure, right? So you're being the trailblazer. You're the one that's going out and like looking for new opportunities, new potentials, new ways of being. And they haven't had those experiences. And think about all the defensive structures you had to work with when we first started working together.
Yeah.
Right? They've got all of, and you learnt that from them. So all that stuff's in place. So it's not about, you know, your parents clearly love you very, very much. And there is clearly a lot of care and a lot of closeness in your family structure. And it's rigid and it's held the way it's held. And there's not a lot of space for you to be able to find yourself and move within that.
Yeah.
Old patterns and perceptions can be hard for others to shake, especially when they've grown used to a particular version of you. As you transform, you might notice them struggling to understand and adapt to your new boundaries, values, or behaviors. To help smooth this transition, start by having an open and compassionate conversation with those closest to you. Explain the changes you've made and what they mean to you. Demonstrating consistency in your new ways of being will also reinforce your growth and help others to adjust over time. Finally, practice patience, not only with others, but also with yourself as you navigate this period of reteaching. Remember that while it can take time, those around you will be more likely to adapt if they understand the positive reasons behind your transformation.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. It's
Do
really
you
tough.
know what I think?
Yeah, go on.
I
really want to know.
Well, this is an opinion. There's not necessarily therapeutic advice, but you know, we're on our last session, so I'll tell you what I think.
Go for it.
I think you need an adventure. I think the last few years of your life has been really hard. And it's been about recovering from not just the big trauma of what happened with the ending of your relationship, but also doing a lot of inner work, like the work that we've done together, but also prior to that, there was a lot of reflection and a lot that was going on. And your medium to long-term life goals seem incredibly clear. To me at least, which is that you want to get married, you want to have a family, and you want to have some career alongside that. Makes total sense. That's totally what you should want, and that exactly sounds to me like what's going to bring you the most fulfillment and the most joy in your life. And you also don't want to feel like your life is on hold until that happens. Right? Like you're kind of like waiting to basically meet that person so you can take that step. And the gift that you have at this chapter of your life, which you won't have for the rest of for a long time if you go down that path, is you have the gift of freedom. You can do what the fuck you want. You can live where you want. You have a kind of career which is relatively transferable. You can potentially do that career remotely. And you've been doing a lot of grown-up stuff for a while. And it seems to me you just need an adventure. I don't know what that is. Like I can't prescribe what it is, but it's like, I'm curious. I was curious how that lands in you firstly.
I think I'd love that. I think I need to, and then another thing that I've been feeling almost frustration with is that feeling of wanting to almost like play, like wanting to have fun and wanting to, but not have fun in the sense of what fun has been, which is like, you know, going out with my mates at the weekend. That is fun, but as in, you know, making everyday fun, like just craving a different kind of lifestyle
Yeah.
or craving a different kind of, just feeling like my creativity and my playfulness has really been stifled for the past few years, and it feels like maybe it's kind of rising up again, trying to get out.
Yeah.
You know, because I think I have been thinking, even just with work, you know, it's like I've always liked my job. I do, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
hate my job, but where it's always been kind of, you know, this is fine, this is good company, blah blah blah, which it is. It feels more like recently I've been sitting there thinking there's got to be more than this. You know, there's really got to be more than just, you know, sitting here at my laptop. I don't feel like I've, you know, I feel like I've lost my spark for it. I feel like I'm waiting for the weekends.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel sad when, you know, like you say, I've worked so hard to get to this place. I'm like, is this it?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
So that sounds like exactly what I need. I wish you could prescribe one.
Well, let's play with it for a minute. This conversation is not about trying to decide what you do.
Yeah.
This conversation is about opening up the possibility of what you might do, and then it's going to take time. You can go away and think about it, research it, and whatever. But tell me some adventures that you could go and have.
I looked into things like writing retreats and things a while ago, and artist retreats, and doing creative workshops. You know, there were places in Italy that did painting workshops and things like that, retreats, creative retreats.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
There's different levels of adventure, right? There's like going to something for a few weeks. There's something for like a few months. And there's something where you go, I'm going to go and do this. Like, I'm going to go and live somewhere for 6 months.
Yeah.
But the freedom that you have at this chapter of your life, you won't have in this way forever.
Yeah. I think that's what I'd lost sight of, is the exciting part of it. I think I've just felt really bogged down.
You've spent too long surviving. And now you're not in survival mode. It's like, I think your brain is still wired to think in that way. Yeah. And that's why I'm wanting to sort of to push this a little bit. Like, I have absolutely no idea what this looks like. It's not like I think, she just needs to go and do it. I don't know what it looks like. But I think the next step for you is, you know, yes, we can talk about the family and how you manage that, but in a way, that's a symptom of the fact that you're living at home in a chapter of your life that's probably not that healthy to do that.
Yeah.
For most people. Like, it's great to have a soft place to fall and a place that you can go that you sort of know what you're getting into. But it's like you were in survival mode. You then got to a sort of maintenance mode. You've done some really good inner work. And it's almost like your external life now needs to reflect what's happening in your internal life.
Yeah.
Which is, you have a whole world of possibility open to you. But you got to go and grab that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. Sounds like exciting.
And this is not why I'm proposing it, but the absolute best place to meet someone for a relationship is in a place where you're not looking for a relationship, where you're investing in you, you're lit up, like you're alive, you're doing what's bringing you joy, you're taking a few risks, and, you know, it's considered risks, but, like, you know, challenging yourself. That's the place from which I think you're going to meet someone. But that's not why I think you should do it.
Yeah.
I think you should do it for you. But being stuck in a rut where you're a little bit fed up, where you're stuck at home, you don't really want to be there, and you're going on whatever dating app and dating this, but, like, the whole thing's just stuck. And you need to blow it up.
Yeah. That is the feeling.
And this is not advice I typically give to people. But this is where I think you are.
Yeah.
Like, and it's to me, it's the fruition of all the work you've done. It's because you've done all this good work that you've reached a point where it's like you can go, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Like, what's actually going to make me feel alive?
Yeah.
You know, what's going to remind me of who I am, and meet a bunch of crazy cool people
Yeah.
and have a bunch of crazy cool experiences. You know, that I think you need that more than, you know, yes, you need to keep doing the work and keep applying the tools, but the quality of our life is also determined by the people we spend the most time with. You know, and so just exposing yourself to a bunch of new experiences and new people, and we have no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, that's my sense of what I think you need.
Yeah.
And it's such a privilege to be at a chapter in your life you can actually do that. But it's going to be hard for that to happen, spending all the time around people that want you to be the way you were before.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to lose touch with, I don't want to lose momentum.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm really excited to hear where things go. We'll obviously stay in touch, but do you have any questions for me at this point?
It's not really a realistic question, but what do you think it's important for me to keep working on? Like, is there anything that you think I'm not quite there, like I need to keep? Obviously, nobody is ever there.
I was going to say, it's a journey with no end. The things that I would really focus on, meditation practice. It's really going to help you just stay regulated and stay connected.
Yeah.
Inner critic. As you start to make these next changes, it's going to get louder, and you're going to get sensitized to other people's inner critics. So you need to really be on not letting that direct things.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to screw it up.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, it's like there is no right answer at this next chapter. It's like, you know what your true north is. You know where it is ultimately you want to be in your life. Right now, you have a lot of space to move and to have experiences, and there's no right and wrong about that. This is not the end of your inner journey. It's really the beginning of your inner journey. You're equipped with a bunch of tools and understandings. The next chapter really is about building an outer life that reflects what's been happening in this inner chapter. But sometimes it's still going to feel really hard and really difficult. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that you're human.
Okay.
You know, so we don't judge where we're at by any one moment or any one day. Like, what's the overall trajectory? And you've got real momentum, and just let that, you know, trust that and trust yourself.
Thank you.
Right? Like, to me, a big part of your journey here has been really coming back to trust who you are and to have the courage to live from that place. This is the fun bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Thanks, Belle.
Thank you. So I've had my last session with Alex now, which feels a bit strange actually, but it was really good to kind of look back on my progress and just to think about how far I've come, because I feel like I can cope a lot better with my emotions now and things don't feel quite so overwhelming. I've seen a lot of improvement with my inner critic, because that was obviously such a big piece of the puzzle for me. And yeah, I do feel really excited about, like Alex was saying, maybe I need a bit of an adventure and to do something different, put myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and get my creativity flowing again. So I need to kind of put my mind to making some plans. But yeah, I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity, and so grateful to Alex and his team just making me feel so comfortable. And yeah, I didn't know at the start, I just didn't know how I was going to get on. I didn't know if I could do it. So it's also been a bit of a confidence boost for me, just to know that I can, like, I've taken a bit of control back and that I did it. So yeah, just so grateful. Yeah, exciting times going forward, hopefully.
We don't work to heal the impacts of the past so we can live there. We do it to open up the potential for our lives now and into our future. This is what Belle has been doing. She now has the potential to live her future free from the narratives of the past, to live life on her own terms, which to me is the ultimate gift of therapeutic work. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. I sincerely hope that Belle's story has moved you and inspired you to realize that your past also doesn't have to equal your future, and that with commitment, with hard work, you can heal your past and you can awaken your true potential.